Hey there, I'm Di, and today I'm going to be doing a very cruisy video of randomly painting whatever I feel like. I posted about this in my community tab asking you guys what questions you might want me to answer so we can get to know each other a bit better, and just to try and make this random painting whatever I want a bit more interesting, I suppose. I don't know, it's a chill video. I need this right now. I've had a week. I've really had a week. Anyway, let's just start painting. I've set up, got my candle, got my chockies, got my delicious Brazilian coffee. I was going through my paper drawer and I found some papers that I prepped for when I was doing watercolour mushrooms, which I actually have been wanting to do watercolour mushrooms again, so I think I'm going to do that today. These are, caramel coated Maltesers, and they are so good. Mushrooms, let's sketch some mushrooms. Do you know what? I actually want to draw Merlin again. I did Merlin. Look at me procrastinating and putting off pencil to paper. Do you all get that too? Like you're ready, you go, and then you just, yeah. So I did Merlin, the mushroom, testing out Nerdforge's sketchbook. I don't actually like the watercolours in this sketchbook, and I don't think I did him very well, so I really want to redo him now that I know a little bit more about watercolour, emphasis on a little bit. And I'm not dissing that sketchbook, by the way. It's a good sketchbook, it's just there's better paper for watercolour. All right, let's get to a question. I like this one. This one is from Dahlia Cat 3396. What inspires you to create? Do you feel the creative juice all the time, or just randomly think of stuff that you'd like to create? And then there's a second part to the question. What is your biggest impediments to getting into art? Have you found a good way to manage those impediments? I wouldn't say I feel it all the time. Quite often, yes, it is thinking about stuff to create, things that inspire me to create. Funnily enough, music. I spend a lot of time in the car driving to and from work, picking up the kids, etc. And I'll crank up the music, and for some reason listening to music, my brain just goes into creative firing mode. Usually art ideas that then I want to turn into a video, and I will actually deliberately put different songs on. If I was to paint a picture inspired by this song, what would it look like? And my brain starts to paint a picture for me based on the song that I'm listening to. Another thing that actually really gets me thinking, walking through the shops, like just randomly walking through, seeing the window displays, and I'll just look at it and I'll go, oh wow, that's really inspiring. Another one that really gets my brain going, and it's probably why I do a lot of what I do on my channel, and that's walking through the shops again and seeing blank items. Like I see a blank item, a blank white handbag or whatever, my brain is instantly thinking, how can I do that to make that more interesting? I reckon I could customize that to look just something different, something cool. Prime example right there. What is the biggest impediment to getting into art? Comparing myself to others. Really, that's what it comes down to. Comparing myself to others. And that happened right from a young age. So I've never studied art outside of high school, and art in high school, I loved it. I really enjoyed it, especially doing clay work. I really enjoyed that. And so I vividly remember the pieces that I made, and I liked them and I thought they were good, but we had some real talent in our classroom. And I shouldn't say talent because they would have had to have worked hard at it as well, but they were really good. And I couldn't help but compare mine to theirs, and I would feel good about a piece. Then I would look at someone else's and go, oh, actually, I'm not that good. And I had a really unhealthy mindset, I think. I would see someone else's that was better than mine and think, well, what's the point? I'm obviously not very good. And what's the point of doing it if I'm not good at it? Oh, and even saying it out loud, I just can't believe that's where my brain and my mind was. Yeah, so I compared myself to other people's art. My own, it's no one's fault but my own. I don't know where that mindset came from. It was unhealthy, and it basically killed anything in me to ever pursue art. And I'm not naturally artistic, but I think I'm naturally creative, and I think there is a difference. But I've definitely always had a naturally creative flair, and I've always looked for creative outlets for all my jobs that I've ever had. If there's been a way to be creative, I'll do it. I'll find it and I'll do it. And then throughout my life, I've picked up art here and there, and generally sketching and drawing, just pick it up and then look at what I've done and be totally disappointed in what I've done and gone, what's the point? Why are you doing this if you're not going to be any good? Again, that's so unhealthy. It's such a bad thing. Yeah. Do I like you? I don't know. There was another part to that question. Have you found a good way to manage those impediments? To stop comparing myself to others. To allow myself to enjoy doing it, which I do, and just allow myself, and that's okay. It's okay to enjoy what you're doing without being fabulous at it all the time, most of the time, and hammering into myself that no, you're not going to be good the first time you do it. You might not be good the 10th time you do it, but you can get good if you try and keep at it. Yeah, I think that's the main thing. Don't compare yourself to others, which is really hard to do, and I still do it anyway, even though I tell myself not to. But I think I'm better at not letting that comparison stop me. I hope that answers it. Let's find another question. This next question is by Stargirl Huser. Besides art, what other hobbies do you have? If you like reading, favourite book? Yes, I love reading. I probably don't read so much anymore, but I do listen to audiobooks, mainly because I am so freaking busy all the time. So I'll listen to audiobooks while I'm cleaning or in the car or doing art. I just find that way I'm not taking up my time reading and not being productive. I'm getting two things done at once. And then there's the second part. Stargirl Huser. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, sorry. And is there a type of art that you haven't tried that you really, really want to get into? Ooh, there's about 100. Yes, I want to try spray painting. I want to try doing like big spray painting murals, but then I actually want to try and take that a step further and make it 3D spray painting. I don't know how I'm going to make that happen. I need to cut some more paper. Oh, now I've started eating these, I'm not going to stop. Okay, done quite a few mushrooms. Now I'm having a go at drawing some flower characters. I don't know, I don't normally go for flowers, but as a cutesy character, maybe. But let's find another question. This one is from Miriam200. I love your videos. Thanks, Miriam. My question is, what advice would you give to a young artist starting out? Number one advice, don't compare yourself to anybody else. Just compare yourself to you. Do your drawings, do your sketches, keep them, and then compare yourself to yourself later. Don't throw anything away. Keep it all. Get a sketchbook. I would say don't get a nice sketchbook. I know myself, getting nice sketchbooks put me off doing bad art. Not even a sketchbook, just paper. I actually, to be quite frank, I prefer just drawing and painting on bits of paper and then get a nice box and just keep it all together in the box. I actually think it's a better idea myself. Sketchbooks can be daunting and can put you off. Personally, anyway, date it. Don't throw it away, okay? Because then you can compare yourself later. And don't be scared to try lots of different mediums. Don't tie yourself down to just one thing. Have a go at lots of stuff and see what you might have a knack at, or you just really enjoy, because the more you enjoy it, the more inclined you are to keep doing it. Yeah. Is that good advice? I don't know. It's the best I've got. Oh, okay. This question is from Bear Scribbles. Who's been your biggest influence on YouTube since relaunching your channel? And who would your dream collab be with? Oh, busted out the big guns. This one needs a chocky. My biggest influence since relaunching my channel, if you don't know what Bear Scribbles is referring to as relaunching my channel, I actually used to make videos, and there's a couple of old ones that I've left on my channel. They're really bad. I actually originally started my channel when my kids were very young, and I didn't really do it as an art and craft channel. My daughter used to watch YouTube quite a bit when she was very little. I looked at the videos she was watching and I'm like, I could do that, because she liked to watch unboxing videos and I didn't just want to unbox stuff. My brain went down the line of unboxing and testing out craft kits, and I'm talking like 8 years ago. It's a lifetime ago, and I just did it as a bit of a hobby. If you want, go back, there's some oldies. They're shocking really, and all those videos, I don't talk in them, they're just music. Although there is one that I've still left on there, and it was the only voiceover I did, and oh my god, it's a bit like pulling teeth watching it, but it's still there. That's the old channel. In the last couple of years, I started doing videos again. So it was a relaunch, still had the old name. The name of my channel was Fun Crafty Hands. Yes, my husband used to love joking about my fun crafty hands. And still doing the same sort of thing, but maybe a bit more in-depth. You know, craft kit, opening it, testing it, talking about it, blah blah. And the way I talked in those videos a couple of years ago, cringe, just cringe. And then I watched a lot of other creators, and the ones that inspired me, getting to the point of the question finally, the ones that inspired me a lot were Nerdy Crafter. She inspired me because she made doing these fun, cool projects accessible. Like, she made it look like we could all have a go and do it and enjoy it. Mariah Elizabeth, her inspiration was more being comfortable making cutesy art. I don't know, I had this thing in my brain that art needed to be proper, and it was landscapes and portraits and still life, and that didn't interest me at all. But seeing her being okay with rainbows and sprinkles and cutesy animals, my brain was just like, yep. This is awesome. This is what I want to be doing, and it's okay to be doing that as an adult, as a mature age old woman. Chloe Rose was another one. I found her channel inspiring to me because she made it okay to be a bit goofy. Not goofy, but chill and not being scripted, and just kinda having fun and making mistakes and messing about and dropping things, and all these different channels sort of made things okay in my brain, that it was okay to just be yourself on camera. You didn't have to put on a front. You weren't acting things out, just, yeah. Later on down the track, when I was really starting to try and get a bit more serious, Sarah Renee Clark was also watching her videos, because I didn't see Sarah's videos until I'd been doing it again for quite some time. But I watched her very early videos, and I watched her progress. Like, you watch her, go watch her first video. Even a month later, look at her videos, or you know, a couple of months later, she just progressed. She was just like a force when it came to her editing and how she put her videos together. It was just so professional, and I was just blown away by it. And who would my dream collab be with? My dream collab. I don't know, there's so many. That's tricky. Because when I think of a collab, I think of a collab as in sharing your creativity, you know, bouncing off each other, bouncing ideas off each other, and coming together with ideas, and, you know, building and making something together. I could rattle off a big list of YouTubers I would love to do a collab with. Something like that. Maybe we should start painting some of these. I haven't answered the question though, have I? I'm kind of avoiding it because it's very, it's almost bearing your soul. No one's going to see this. So, dream collabs. Let me just run through my subscription list and I'll just rattle off a few names. I think that's going to be the easiest way. Love to collab with Mariah Elizabeth. Seriously, who wouldn't? ADC Art Attack. Actually, DIY Danny. She's amazing and such a creative brain. Jazza. And I'd love to collab with Sarah. I'd actually love to collab with Jazza and Sarah together, do a real Aussie theme type thing. Nerdy Crafter, obviously. I've collabed with Rose Requin Crafts and I actually really enjoyed that. That was good. I'd like to do another collab with Rose. She's got a really fun artsy style. Bellamina, she's got that really cutesy fun art style too. Chloe Rose. So Craftastic, Ace of Clay. Oh my god, there's just so many. Like, seriously, there's so many talented creative brains out there that I would just love to throw ideas around with and bounce creatively bounce off them. Does that sound weird? Probably. Anyway, let's paint. I'm going to use Christie's brushes. In saying that, in the whole who would you want to collab with, I think I'd actually be really terrified. Terrified of letting them down or stuffing it up somehow. 1000, that's another one. Please, love his work. NerdForge, I could just keep going. We are going to use these. Little Expo marker asks, are you neurodivergent? If so, what's your diagnosis? So, no, I'm not neurodivergent. I do have neurological issues, but that's related to, I've got something called Chiari malformation. Basically, my brain's falling out. Actually, no, that's a bit of an over-exaggeration. The back part of my brain bit, the cerebral tonsils, whatever, they just hang down in my spinal column. Anyway, it's what causes my hand shake and headaches and other stuff. But no, I'm not neurodivergent. However, my son is. He's 14 and he's got a rare neurological disorder called Angelman syndrome. A lot of you probably haven't heard of it. It is on the rarer side. It is often misdiagnosed as autism or cerebral palsy, etc. That kind of actually leads into the answer to the next question, which the next question is from Alison Hinkle. Question, what made you want to start YouTube? So I'm a mum, 2 kids, 2 teenagers. My daughter, 16, and my son, as I said, 14. He's got a severe disability, as I said. I don't want to go into his disability too much, but I will say it's, how do I say this without being, I don't want to put him down in the way that I'm saying this. This is just coming from being the mum of a child with a disability, but I need to be respectful of him. He didn't ask for his life to be challenging, and he's, you know, he's a sweet, he's a good kid. Like, he's got such a good heart, and all parents love their kids, right? You know, we all think they're special, but I particularly think both my kids are pretty special, and my son has some ways about him. He knows how to make you feel good about yourself. He just wants a good time and a laugh, and he doesn't want life to be difficult, and he's got a special superpower. I mean, I hear people, their kids have gifts and whatnot. They might be a sports person or an academic or, you know, an artist or whatever, but my son has a very special gift that is so freaking rare, and that is he got absolutely no judgment on anyone. So he doesn't care what culture you are, what religion you are. He doesn't care what disability you may have. He doesn't care about the colour of your skin. He doesn't care how you dress, your sexuality, nothing. He does not judge you on any of those things. He solely judges you on how you treat him. That's it. And I just think that is the most beautiful thing. He has no prejudice, and I think that's such a gift, because whether we like it or not, the world has prejudices out there, and he just ignores them completely. Doesn't take any of it on board at all. He just judges you on how you treat him, how you make him feel. That's it. And I just think that is such a gift. Anyway, I'm getting off track again, but with his disability comes challenges for him and challenges for us as his parents and his family, and it changed our whole life basically. If you are the carer of child or even an adult, if you're their carer and they have a disability, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, it changes your whole life, and my whole life did change. And I'm not saying don't get me wrong, I don't resent him for it. Not for a moment. He's definitely brought me more than what I've lost, but in saying that, it's hard. And my life before that, we got out and we did a lot, you know, as a family. You know, your life changes when you have kids anyway, let's be real. But the older he got and the bigger he got and the more challenging Unfortunately, his diagnosis does come with challenging behaviours, and in the home those challenging behaviours are less. Outside of the home, with the sensory overload of the world, it's far more difficult. What that means for me as his carer, his main carer, because my husband, you know, we are a family and my husband helps as much as he can, but my husband does work away from home. So he's gone for 2 weeks at a time. So I am his main carer. So, you know, I went from playing sport. I used to love sport. I actually used to be fit and active, not anymore. Going out and being outside of the home, and, you know, we were always out. And I had to find something for me to do that I could do basically at home. And from home, I needed my creative outlet. I needed something to pour myself into that wasn't work, wasn't housework. YouTube was it. As I'd mentioned before, I'd had my channel and it was revived out of being at a really difficult point in my life and starting to be very resentful, actually. Not of anyone in particular, but just resentful of life, and that it sucked that, you know, we had to be at home so much, and I felt a bit trapped, I suppose you could say, in a way. It was a way to be creative, and the art side of it was very therapeutic. Having a goal, like I used to play volleyball, and I used to do, and, you know, go to competitions, and then after I had kids, I started doing adventure races and triathlons, and, you know, it's that process of training and then doing it as a part of a team and then going to competitions and competing. And so YouTube kind of replaced that. It's that, yes, I've got the creative process of doing this, but the goal is making a whole video and then posting it. Does that make sense? I don't know if it does. I don't know if I'm explaining myself very well. And so when I say things like at the beginning of this video, it's been a challenging week, because his disability also comes with epilepsy as a part of it. So we had a pretty significant seizure this week, which we thought he'd been seizure free for about a year, actually, and out of the blue he's just had another one. So we were just, I don't know, in my brain we were getting ready that his next neuro appointment, start trying to cut back the medication so he could see if he could be seizure free without medications. But now that's not going to be happening anytime soon. But that's okay. He bounces back. He's a remarkable little boy who just bounces back. And please don't for a moment think I'm looking for sympathy on this. I'm not. I'm just being honest, really. It's all good. Life's all good. We roll with it. Vonk Artistry here says, what's your favourite medium and what's your favourite craft? My favourite medium, I think it'd be a toss-up between, I'm really falling in love with watercolour, but I don't think I've done it enough to really be my favourite, but excuse me, probably clay. Although since doing the this one, I don't know what art form you would call that, but that I really love. Alasha Harasha. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I can't say the name properly. I'm trying. But anyway, I say, hey, I'm a big fan. You probably won't notice me. I noticed you. But my question is, do you have any quotes you have that you would share? Also, do you know any art tips for a beginner artist? I've kind of given the advice that I have. Tips for a beginner artist, I suppose they're the same. But quotes, ones that I use regularly are close enough, good enough. I don't know that it's a good one, but I use it a lot. And she'll be right. It is what it is. When I'm not feeling good about a piece of art, but I don't know how to make it better or what else to do to it, it is what it is. I don't know that they're really quotes or sayings, or I don't know, they're just things that I say. Actually one, I don't know, this is more just a general life rather than for art, and that's, people won't remember how awesome you are at something. They're not going to remember the A's you got, or the medals, or the trophies you received, or the big ticks. What people will remember is how you made them feel. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any favourite artists, and if so, what draws you to them? So I've already gone through a lot of art YouTubers that I really like. Artists apart from YouTube, I'll show you a piece of artwork I put up on my wall that I really love. It's from a local artist. She is Sarah Carlton Art. That's another example because that came with it. Trying to get the light off it, and I just love it. And this is the type of art I like on my walls. While it's aesthetically pleasing and the colours are really calming, I could just sit there for ages just looking at it. Then there's another artist. She's an Aboriginal woman, I think the Northern Territory. Anyway, I'll put her details up and I'll put her artwork up. I don't own a piece of her art yet. I want to, but her pieces, they're a little bit more expensive than I can afford right now, but I would love to own a piece of her artwork. It is just beautiful, and it's the sort of artwork, it just, you look at it and it just, I don't know, it's very calming. I just can't stop looking at them. Oh, sorry, and that question was from Just Geordie. Thanks, Just Geordie. All right, another question from Shoujo Girl 900. What equipment do you use while recording, along with what software do you use? What I might do is, I'm in the middle of this, I'll do a quick tour of my equipment that I use and I'll tack it onto the end of the video. My software I use is VideoPad Video Editor. Would I recommend it? For a beginner, yeah. And it was cheap and it wasn't subscription based, hence why I didn't buy some other brands that are out there. And I did try and use, I think it's Blackmagic or something like that. It's a free one that's really good. I know Jazz's Studio uses it, and I did try and use it, but my computer's very limited and it didn't handle it very well. I would like to use a better video editing software. The problem is I'm time poor. I'm so time poor. I need the time to learn a new program, and learning to use the new program would add time to getting my videos out, and I'm already absolutely running at the maximum that I can. Probably doesn't seem like it because sometimes there's like 3 to 4 weeks between videos, but that's just because life happens. If I didn't work paid job outside the home, I would be able to learn a new program and get lots more videos out, and that's what I would like to do, but I need to build my channel more, and to build my channel more I need more time, so it's a catch-22 kind of situation. But yeah, VideoPad Video Editor, yes, I do recommend it for beginners. It's reasonably cheap, very easy to use for me anyway. Strudel Doodles I love that name, Strudel Doodles. Hi Di, which art medium can you not stand and why? Probably the one I would say the most is charcoal, and that's because of the feeling. It's just, and then the way it feels when you rub it on the paper, it's just... Chalk pastels, they're very messy. Chalk pastels I do use, but I use it not as a solo thing. It's like I brush it onto sculptures and whatnot. Oil pastels, because they're just how do I explain this? They're messy. I still actually want to have a go at them. Like, even though I don't like them, I want to actually make an art piece with them for some weird reason. With a pencil, you can sharpen it and get that nice fine tip, and with paintbrushes, you can get a nice fine paintbrush. Oil pastels, it's just like this big blunt crayon type thing, and that hurts my brain. My brain doesn't get along with that idea very well, that I feel like I don't have pinpoint control and precision. Yeah, that's me not having worked with them and knowing how to use them. I'll have a go one day. This one is from Small Art Big Heart. And they are asking, have you ever tried pottery? And would you be willing to try it if you haven't? Now, funnily enough, I love doing clay, but I've never had the urge to try pottery ever. That is until I started watching a YouTuber, Shelby Sherritt. She's a fellow Australian. I'm gonna link her. I highly suggest, encourage you guys to go and check her channel out. And since watching her, yes, I want to try pottery. But yeah, she's just such a breath of fresh air. She's really sweet, and her videos are really fun. Jessica Zimprok. Let's just say Jessica. Sorry, Jessica, I can't pronounce your name. She asked, have you tried oil pastels? No. And if so, what are your thoughts? Messy. But I do actually want to have a go. Funnily enough, at the school I work at, the art teacher uses oil pastels with the kids a lot. And I love their artworks. They come out looking brilliant. And I don't know how they do it. Like, they're using oil pastels and they're kids, and they just, yeah, so I do actually want to have a go. Even though I don't like them, I still want to do it. And she said, they always look fun, but my experience hasn't been good so far. Chalk pastels, however, I absolutely love. Oh, okay. Well, if you're on Instagram, Jessica, and if you post any of your chalk pastel artwork, tag me in it, because I'd love to have a look. Why can't I pronounce you guys' names? I'm so sorry. You're all going to freaking hate me after this video because I can't read your names. E4 Alabasi says, I can't wait to see your paintings. I hope I think they're going okay. When did you start getting into art and craft? Is it when you started YouTube, or is it something you were already familiar with before that? There's a second part to the question, but I'll get to that in a sec. So, in short, yes. I started getting into art and craft as a part of YouTube. I enjoyed doing craft projects probably more than art, and as I've mentioned earlier, the reluctance to do art didn't come from not enjoying it, but feeling like I was bad at it, so I didn't do it. But over the years, I've kind of just dabbled. So while I'm not new to it, doing so much of it, that's new and thoroughly enjoyable. I'm glad I got over myself and my stupid brain, because I'm really enjoying it. Next part of the question, what is your favourite project you've done so far? Not because you like the result, but because of how much fun you had while working on it. I like that question. That's a really good question. It's about the process. And there's a third part to the question. I'll get to that in a sec. So I think my favourite to date, there's so many that I've loved for the process. And I think that's actually why I choose a lot of the projects that I do, because of the process. So my squishies, the process of customizing a squishy, oh my God, it's so fun. I did really enjoy making this. It probably got a little bit stressful. I think to date, and it's my most recent one, is this. I thoroughly enjoyed this process. And the last part of this question is, if possible, would love to hear what future projects you would like to do in the future. There's a lot in here. There's so much in here. So while I'm filming this, I've actually got two projects in the background. One is my Halloween video, which will actually come out before this one. Then I've got another project on the go, which is actually a gift. And so it's taking a long time, not because it's a time-consuming project in itself, but because it is so important to me, and because it is a gift for someone. I'm procrastinating and making sure I get it right, and something I've never done before, and I've got so much that I want to do. I want to make like 3D out of clay, real movement, and then use that as the canvas to paint something on. So it's not just a flat canvas that I'm painting on, but it's a warped canvas. I've got some real projects close to my heart that I want to do, like customizing my son's headphones and his pod book, and I want to customize more board games. Oh my God, I want to customize more board games. I want to turn some of my characters that I've drawn into 3D characters with clay, and I want to learn how to paint a big mural and paint on big things. And let's just say the ideas in my brain are more capable than what these hands are, so I've got to wait for my hands to catch up with my brain. Arts Grace asks, I'd love to know if you have anyone that's influenced you in your art. What got you into art and creating? And do you have a favourite artist and why? No, I don't have a favourite artist. I have lots of artists that I've already mentioned that I like. What got you into art and creating? I think I've actually really covered that. Creating's just always been a part of me, always. Right from a little girl watching Play School and watching what they created on Play School and wanting to do it myself. And then throughout my life, I've always just found some way to be creative. I'd love to know if you have anyone that's influenced you in your art. I think actually a lot of the YouTubers that I've mentioned, they really have influenced my art a lot, and more so in a way of feeling okay to do weird and they're not weird, but what my brain perceives as weird art, cutesy art, whimsical art. Watching YouTubers do that sort of thing has let me know in my messed up brain that it's okay to do art like that. It doesn't, and that it always doesn't have to be some beautiful showstopper. It can just be fun. I think I'm running out of questions. I think I've answered a lot of them. I'm sorry if I have missed questions. I'm trying not to, but I'm doing it a bit all over the place. So yeah, I'm pretty much just wrapping this video up. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll just quickly show you the final result of all these and I'm going to rate them. So this guy is probably my least favourite. Tried to make the mushroom cap look like a top hat and it just... I think the concept was alright, the execution just wasn't there. This little dude is my next least favourite. I mean, he's just a bit... Next is Skip, which is actually a recreation of this guy. Mushroom cap's a bit darker, fair bit darker. Then the flower that I did, I don't mind it. It's not great. I could do it better. This is one that I could definitely work on and try again. This one turned out cool. I like this. This is Munch. So it's based on this guy. I originally made munching on blue, but I wanted to make it look like he was munching on chocolate. This is Merlin. I prefer this so much more. This was the original Merlin, and this is the new Merlin. It almost looks like baby Merlin. It's pretty cute. And then my favorite is the tulip. I actually really like this, which, yeah, I don't normally go for flowers, but a cute flower like that, it's simple. Sometimes simplicity is best. And yeah, I like it. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for joining me and see you in the next one. Now the setup that I've got going on, I'm just going to quickly run through it. Basically, I'm running two very cheap ring lights, as you can see. I've had them probably since the early stages of doing my channel. Then that little tripod back there, that's where my phone, which I'm filming on right now, goes. I use my phone for my face when I do my intros and stuff because it talks to my laptop quite well and easily. I have a Blue Yeti microphone. It does the job, but barely. It's not the right sort of microphone for the setup I've got. I would like to invest in a different microphone. The sound thingy behind it, the sound cushioning, whatever you want to call it, that's one of my more recent purchases, just to try and block out noise coming from the other direction and cut out a bit of the echo. Now it is all set up on it's just like on a stool, and then the towel is there for sound dampening again. I did have it up on a boom arm, but it's too heavy, and this boom arm was really cheap and crappy. So that's one piece of advice I would say, is if you're going to invest money in equipment, some things you can get away with going a bit cheaper. Boom arm's not one of them. Okay, there's too many bendy bits and you want it nice and strong. The other thing I wouldn't skimp on is your microphone. So good sound quality, invest in your microphone. The lights, they're cheap, they do the job, they're fine. These lights I have up here, I've got 4 of them, and I think I've got them on special for like $10. You know, they do the job. Yes, I'd like to upgrade them and make them better, but they do the job. And they're all rigged up to this thing up here that my husband made for me. It's just a bit of a mishmash put together, but it does the job brilliantly, and it means I can move my lights around. And we've got another boom arm coming down the center, and that's where my top-down camera is. This was probably my biggest investment to date. My laptop, well, that wasn't an investment for my channel. I already had it, and it's not really the best for the job, but it does the job just. I did have another computer, but it's died. It's dead. It needs replacing. Yeah, I think that kind of covers the whole equipment thing. Keeping in mind, when I started out this, I just started with a lamp, a phone, a tripod, and my computer, and that's it.